What if I told you that the roots of modern humanity um, are surprising resistance to some really deadly diseases and even maybe elite athletic potential?
Yeah.
What if that could all trace back to just one kind of unexpected country?
That country would be Burkina Faso. It's a small West African nation, but it holds this truly massive genetic story, a
Right.
story that, geneticists, historians, anthropologists, they've found it absolutely fascinating for decades. Its DNA carries these remarkably resilient traits, incredibly ancient markers, and, yeah, some really complex, even controversial implications.
And that's exactly our mission for this deep dive. We're going to try and uncover why the genome of this landlocked nation is, well, it's so much more than just DNA.
Exactly. It's like a living narrative, really.
Yeah.
Survival, adaptation, excellence. It's all in there.
So to really get a grip on Burkina Faso's genetic story, we kind of have to start right at the beginning. We need to look at the deep ancestry that shapes this remarkable place.
Well, the foundational thing here is Burkina Faso's location. Its geography. It sits right at this historical crossroads of several major ethnic and linguistic groups.
Okay.
The Mossi, the Bobo, Fulani, Gurunsi, loads of others too. And this incredible mix, this cultural and historical blend, that's really what contributes to their remarkably diverse genetic map.
Okay, so a real melting pot, genetically speaking.
Precisely. And when you dig into that map, you find some truly ancient markers.
Right, like the Y-DNA.
Exactly. Pan-African genome studies, they showed the dominant Y-DNA haplogroup there is E1B1A.
Okay, maybe break that down a bit. What's a haplogroup again?
Sure. So think of it like a unique genetic signature specifically on the Y chromosome. It gets passed down strictly from father to son.
Okay, like a paternal lineage marker.
Exactly. It gives us this direct line back to ancient migrations. Now, E1B1A, that one's linked pretty strongly to the big Bantu expansion.
Which was huge, right?
Mm,
Reshaped a lot of Africa.
absolutely. A centuries-long wave of migrations changed the cultural landscape of, well, most of sub-Saharan Africa. But here's the thing. What's unique in Burkina Faso are these specific sublineages of E1B1A,
And they're older.
much older. Some date back over 5,000 years.
Wow. Okay, so that predates a lot of established history.
It does, and that deep connection, it carries over onto the maternal side, too. Mitochondrial DNA analysis.
Which is passed down from the mother.
Right, exclusively mother to child. That analysis reveals these incredibly ancient maternal lineages, like L2A1 and L3B. I mean, these are genuinely some of the oldest found anywhere in the world.
So historians must be interested in this.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
They emphasize that these findings, they really strongly support the theory that modern humans actually dispersed from West Africa before expanding elsewhere.
Which kind of challenges the more traditional East Africa-centric origin theories, doesn't it?
It certainly adds a major piece to the puzzle, yeah.
Yeah.
It suggests a more complex picture of our origins.
So this isn't just like a neat historical fact. For you listening, this potentially means we're redrawing the earliest maps of human migration.
It could fundamentally shift our perspective, yeah. This deep genetic reservoir makes Burkina Faso a critical location, absolutely essential for tracing those early human routes.
It really reshapes how we understand where humanity kicked off its global journey.
And this ancient genetic legacy, it isn't just about where we came from. It also tells us amazing things about human resilience.
Okay. Like disease resistance.
Exactly.
Right.
One of the most fascinating discoveries in Burkina Faso's genome is this remarkably high resistance to malaria, especially against the really aggressive strain Plasmodium falciparum.
That's huge. Malaria is devastating. So what's going on in their DNA? What are the specific adaptations?
Well, it's not just sort of a general thing. Studies have pinpointed specific genetic traits. For instance, up to 35% of the population carries the HBS allele.
Okay, HBS, that's the one responsible for sickle cell trait, right?
That's the one. Now, obviously, carrying the trait has its own health considerations. It's medically complex. But, crucially, it makes red blood cells pretty inhospitable to the malaria parasite.
So it acts like a natural shield.
Effectively, yes. And there's more. There's also an increased frequency of G6PD deficiency variants. That's another known protective adaptation often found in malaria-prone zones.
That's incredible. Just natural selection at work, creating these defenses.
It really is.
So given this sort of natural immunity, how have scientists engaged with this? Have they, used this insight?
Absolutely. This natural resistance has made Burkina Faso's population a major focus for research. Things like vaccine testing, gene therapy trials.
Gene therapy, like CRISPR.
Particularly in that cutting-edge field, yes. CRISPR-based sickle cell research is a big area. For context, CRISPR is that revolutionary gene editing tech. It lets scientists precisely edit genes, offers new hope for genetic diseases like sickle cell.
Okay, so there's massive potential here for medical breakthroughs.
Huge potential. But, and this is a big but, with such valuable genetic information, you immediately run into some pretty significant ethical considerations.
Right. The value raises questions about who benefits.
Exactly. That point about transparency and benefit is critical. It leads straight into this uncomfortable reality that some people have raised. This growing concern that Western pharmaceutical companies might have treated Burkina Faso and similar African nations as, well, some critics call them DNA mines.
DNA mines, maybe.
Meaning collecting samples maybe for malaria, HIV, cancer studies, but offering very little tangible benefit or even transparency back to the local communities whose genes are being studied.
Is there a specific example of this?
There is, unfortunately, a pretty illustrative one from 2010. There was a joint project between a European research institute and the government of Burkina Faso.
Right.
Well, it was actually halted, stopped completely after serious allegations surfaced.
Allegations of what?
Consent violations. Basically, questions about whether people fully understood what they were signing up for, and a clear lack of benefit sharing for the local communities involved.
Wow. Okay, so that sounds pretty serious.
It was. And that specific incident, it really sparked a much wider global debate about bioethics, about exploitation, and crucially, about who actually owns genetic data.
Which leads to that really complex question. If a major pharmaceutical breakthrough happens based on African DNA, should there be shared patents or royalties going back to those nations?
That's the ethical tightrope, isn't it? Many people argue passionately for shared patents or royalties. They see it as basic justice, equity.
But it's complicated to implement.
Incredibly complicated. Navigating the legal frameworks, the economic models for that kind of benefit sharing, it's still very much a gray zone in international law and practice. There just aren't easy answers right now.
It's a tough one. Okay, so moving beyond disease resistance, there's another layer here that's, well, kind of astonishing. These genetic insights might even extend into areas like athletic prowess.
Yeah, that's another really interesting angle.
I mean, here's a fact that might raise some eyebrows. Burkina Faso is relatively quietly producing world-class sprinters and long jumpers.
That's right. You see athletes like Hugues Fabrice Zango.
Yeah.
He's an Olympic triple jump medalist.
A medalist.
No.
From Burkina Faso.
Exactly. And there are other rising track stars, too. Their performance metrics, they genuinely rival elite athletes from places like the U.S. or the Caribbean, traditional powerhouses.
So is there a genetic link suspected?
Well, scientists have found that many Burkinabe athletes carry specific gene variants. Notably, the ACTN3 R577X gene variant.
ACTN3. I think I've heard that called the sprint gene.
That's the popular nickname for it, yeah. It's strongly linked to the development of fast-twitch muscle fibers.
Which are key for explosive power, speed. Stuff sprinters and jumpers need.
Precise.
Okay, so finding a sprint gene, like ACTN3, in these athletes, it really makes you wonder, are we just reducing human potential down to DNA? Or is it more about, sociocultural factors, environment, training, all playing an equal part? What are the main viewpoints on this?
Yeah, it's that classic nature versus nurture debate, isn't it? It comes up again here.
Seems like it.
So on one side, you have critics who labeled this kind of thinking genetic determinism, meaning they argue it oversimplifies human ability. It risks overlooking the huge impact of things like intense training, dedication, coaching, psychological factors, nutrition, environment, all of that. They worry it leads to a narrow view of talent.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the counter argument?
Well, others see it differently. They view identifying these genetic markers, like ACTN3, as potentially a valuable tool.
A tool for what?
Maybe to help identify and nurture athletic talent early on, perhaps allowing for more targeted training programs, better resource allocation.
So using genetics as one part of the talent identification process.
Exactly. It's a really complex discussion, honestly, with valid points on both sides. Most researchers today would probably agree that it's almost always a combination. It's genetics and environment, training, opportunity, all interacting to unlock that kind of elite performance.
Right. It's rarely just one thing. Okay, let's maybe quickly recap some of the key genetic takeaways from this deep dive into Burkina Faso. Just crystallize the main points.
Sounds good.
So first, that ancient ancestry. We're talking mitochondrial and Y-DNA lineages stretching back over 5,000 years. Really old, potentially reshaping our understanding of early human migration.
Definitely. Then the disease resistance, that remarkably high presence of the HPS trait, the sickle cell trait, up to 35% in some studies, plus those G6PD variants, both offering significant natural protection against malaria.
Right. Then the athletic performance angle. We see this high presence of the ACTN3 sprint gene variant in many of their elite athletes, suggesting a potential genetic link to physical prowess.
Yep. And finally, we can't forget the genomic controversy. Those really critical bioethical concerns around how genetic data is collected, how it's used, and crucially, how the benefits are shared equitably, or if they are shared at all, raises big questions about patents and ownership.
So when you put it all together,
Yeah.
what makes the Burkina Faso genome so, well, special?
I think it's that combination. It's incredibly ancient, right? It predates modern empires, modern borders. It gives us this window into humanity's earliest journeys.
And it's resilient.
Hugely resilient, forged through tough environmental challenges, through natural selection, revealing these amazing adaptations to diseases like malaria.
And as we discussed, it's controversial too.
Absolutely. It forces us to grapple with very modern questions about ownership, identity, exploitation, especially in this age of big data and genetic research.
But maybe more than anything,
More than anything, I think it's just a powerful mirror. It reflects humanity's complexity back at us. It shows that even in a country often described as one of the world's poorest, there lies this profound treasure trove. Biological, cultural, historical wealth. It's all there.
it really shows how deeply intertwined our genetic past is with our present and maybe even our future.
Couldn't agree more.
So, a final thought for you, the listener, to ponder. Should African nations have full control, full sovereignty over their own genetic resources? Should they own their genetic future through what some call biosovereignty, ensuring they benefit equitably from discoveries made using their DNA?
Or, on the flip side, is there a risk? Are we perhaps oversimplifying complex human traits like athletic ability or even disease resistance, maybe for commercial gain or even nationalistic pride?
It's definitely a lot to think about. Really complex questions with no easy answers. We encourage you to mull them over.